I would like to have you join me in welcoming Heather Hawthorn Doyle. Heather Hawthorn Doyle is an in-demand director who has made her name for herself as a strong story-based filmmaker who brings her passion to every project, from working with actors on grounded performances to creating cinematic visual storytelling with her team. Heather has also directed short-form narrative films, including the award-winning comedy action micro-short, I Don't Want Him Either, filmed entirely in a volume studio. So, great introduction to the last piece here. Heather, please welcome.
Why, hello. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we had this great opportunity. I'm a director here in town and the chair of the DGC BC Advisory Council. We had an opportunity to have 8 directors work in a volume studio over 2 days. And so each of us had 2 hours to shoot a film or to shoot a scene or to try something. So having the opportunity to do that in a volume studio was pretty fantastic. So let me have you take a look at the film that me and my team came up with, the comedy action micro short, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So this is I Don't Want Him Either.
No. What do you mean, no? You give me what I want, and I give you your father back. Look, I just can't. You have to. I don't want him. I don't want him either. Like, he looks helpless right now, but he's not. Like, underneath that shirt, cheese grater. Seriously, you can just, like, you are fucked, dude. You are so fucked. He's gonna be so fine without me, like. And, I have been under your thumb for way too long, so. Sorry. So you really won't give it to me? Okay. Mom's gonna kill me.
Thank you very much. So that's what virtual production can give to you. So you should always start with a story with a, what's the story you want to tell? What's the narrative you want to tell? Me, I started with, I really want to do a 360 shot in a volume studio. How do we do that? So that's where that story came from. So the volume studio that we used was a 3-walled studio, so there was no extra fly wall or anything like that. So we had 3 walls. And then the cool thing about being in a volume studio is that background can move. You can make that background do anything you want to do. So our camera stayed fixed in one spot. It did not move. The background moved, and we put our actress on a turntable. And so the toughest part of it was just getting the timing worked out, because the volume is, computerized, but the turntable was a gentleman turning the table. And so knowing that we only had 2 hours, I was like, I'm gonna spend an hour on this really cool shot. Let's see if we can do this really cool shot, and then we'll spend an hour on everything else. And so it took us 62 minutes to get that shot, and the toughest part was really just the eye line too, because Mayumi, who's an incredible actor, she's turning around and then she has to go by the camera to make it look like it was there. And then the other sort of tough thing was, when we first started, we actually didn't know if we could do a 360 shot. None of us did, but definitely everybody associated with the volume studio was very eager to try it out. We wanted to try to see if we could break it. What are the things you can't do in that sort of a format? And really, there's nothing you can't do in that sort of a format. And the only reason I was able to get all of the rest of the shots is because, again, we moved the background. So you set up your lights, you're here, we shoot this person goes away, the people that were across from them comes in the same spot, we move the background. And so we didn't have the opportunity to do a lot of foreground set pieces and stuff because we were on a bridge, and they wouldn't let me bring in a car. And I get it was only 2 hours, because that also really helps sell things in a volume studio. In the next panel, we'll talk more about that. But there's a lot of really great things in this technology that helps us. It's good for a lot of things. Like in my I direct a lot of movies and stuff like that, and if I never had to shoot a car in a green screen again, my life is better. It's only good in a volume studio because you get reflections. You get reflections off your mirrors, you get reflections off the car. It looks far more real, and it does allow your actors to look at something as opposed to looking at the little green tape on the wall, and are they both looking at the same green tape? So it's a way to just make sure that everybody's sort of playing in the same game. It does change things. I think the only reason we're not doing more of it now is two things. The messaging of what it is. People are scared of things until they start touching them, and people are scared of the dollars. They don't yet understand how those dollars can be put to a better use, and you're just taking some of the money you would have spent on the back end and you're doing it first. The next panel will talk more about that too. It's all about fixing it in prep as opposed to fixing it in post, because there is no post. The great thing about doing this was we were able to see our shots live. I'm seeing exactly what we see. What was interesting though is you can't shoot directly onto a volume studio. You can't go close up on the wall. And I wanted Mayumi's point of view. I wanted to see what she saw at first. And so our friends helped us out with that, and they had to output that later because you can't shoot that. So it was just one more piece that we kind of learned. So the next panel will talk much more about volume. I just want to say in closing that for me as a director, locations is such a huge part of what I do. I cannot be good without great locations, and I cannot effectively start my prep until we found our locations. And so I very much appreciate and celebrate people that can bring us locations that are not just the same location that we'd seen before, understanding that, especially out here, sometimes we have to shoot in certain places. But on this current show that I'm on, and I'm right in production, so I was napping just before this, so just very glad to see you all. We're shooting in a house that we've never seen on TV before, and that just fills me with joy. So thank you very much for all that you guys do. Appreciate it.